Diplomat Talks as a messenger. Hello to the new government. Our 21st episode begins now.
톡톡님,
Yes,
진행하시죠?
me.
오, 토통님이 이제 진행하시는 거예요, 우리 회의?
지난주에 보니까 잘하시더라고요. 그러니까 이번 주도 톡톡님이 하시죠.
Okay, show us the invitation for this week.
Hello, Team Diplomat Talks. My name is Federico Failla, and as you know, I'm the Italian ambassador to the Republic of Korea. Italy wishes to expand the bilateral relation with Korea in various fields, especially now that there is a new administration that has taken office in Korea. And I heard that Diplomat Talks is working as a messenger between the diplomatic corps and the new administration of Korea. So please visit the embassy to discuss further. I'm looking forward to our conversation, as always.
Let's take a look at the ambassador's responses to our preliminary questions.
보내주신 답변지에서 대사님이 제가 지금 보니까 가장 긴 부분을 할애해서 언급을 하신 거가 문화 관련 협력인 것 같아요. 이
그러게요.
부분에 좀 굉장히 관심이 많으신가 봐요.
맞아요. 근데 답변지 보면 관심만 많으신 게 아니라 관련해서 대사관에서 굉장히 많은 일을 하신 것 같아요.
그러게요. 축제도 있었고 전시회도 이 로돌라라는 이탈리아 작가의 전시회를 지금 하고 있고 그래서 문화 부문에 조금 집중을 하시는 이유가 특별한 이유가 있는지 한번
그러게요.
여쭤보는 것도 좋을 것 같아요.
네.
The 7th Korea-Italy Science and Technology Innovation Forum was also held recently.
이 과학기술 관련해서 한국, 이탈리아 대학 연구기관들 사이에 좀 연결고리를 만들어주는 그런 자리인 것 같아요, 이 회의가. 그래서 3일 동안 30명의 연구자들이 모여서 4가지 주제에 대해서 이야기를 했다고 하네요, 올해는.
보니까 그 4가지 주제가 수소에너지, 그 다음에 문화유산과 과학기술, 항공우주, 초소형 전자공학 이렇게 4개네요. 그러면 여기서 이제 이 4분야에 대해서 구체적으로 어떤 이야기들이 나왔는지 여쭤보는 것도 좋을 것 같아요.
아, 네네네.
He also mentioned climate change several times.
여기 또 이탈리아 대사님이 이탈리아가 지속 가능 발전과 녹색 전환의 선두주자, 챔피언이라고 표현을 해주셨어요.
그러게요. 지난번 인터뷰에 이어서, 그러니까 저희가 지난번에 작년 9월에 했잖아요. 그러니까 그때 이어서 이탈리아 기후변화 정책에 뭔가 달라진 게 있는지, 그리고 또 이 부분에서 한국 새 정부랑은 어떻게 협력하길 원하시는지 그런 거 여쭤보면 좋을 것 같아요.
네네.
Now let's go meet the ambassador. Hello.
안녕하세요, 톡톡님. 오늘 좀 달라 보이시는데요?
이게 뭘까요, 오늘?
I was trying to look fashionable.
선글라스로요?
Of course. They say a good pair of sunglasses completes your look.
오늘 왜 이러시죠, 이분?
I saw there was a lot of discussion on cultural cooperation in our questions, and fashion is a big part of culture. So these sunglasses are closely related to today's interview.
아니, 또 말을 그렇게 하시니까 할 말이 없네요, 우리가.
근데 선글라스 좀 작으신 거 아니에요?
Oh, do they? No wonder, it felt really tight against my temples. Can you take them off for me?
참고 있었던 거예요.
벌써 패션 포기하신 거예요?
I think our audience probably got the message.
이제 갈까요, 그럼 톡톡님?
Let's go!
갑시다. This is where we embark on our 21st journey with Tok Tok. On our way to meet the ambassador, we came across something very interesting.
어머, 이게 뭐지?
They are black and white pictures.
100년 전 이태리 외교관이 본 한국과 한국인. 오,
그 외교관이 찍은 사진이
오, 그런가 봐요.
This must be what Korea looked like 100 years ago.
Looking at these photos made us realize that it has indeed been 138 years since our two countries formed diplomatic ties.
Now it's time to meet the ambassador.
Please come in.
Hello, Ambassador.
Hello, how are you?
So good to see you again.
Very nice to
Have you
meet
been?
you.
Long time no see.
Very well, thank you. So,
Well, it's my first time at the embassy. We've always gone to the residence.
welcome to the embassy.
Well, this is Tok Tok. Have you met Tok Tok before? No.
Not yet. Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Tok Tok and I just saw some photos that were displayed outside of your office, and it just made me realize how long our relationship has
Very
been.
long,
Yes,
very long, more than
long.
1 century.
Yes.
I'm curious to hear about the past relationship. But before the interview, can I take a look around the embassy? Oh, what is this?
They are currently at the DDP. There are some works of this Italian artist, Marco Ladola, who is a sculptor, but he has also done some work for a design company. So it's the artistic side of design objects. And these are very popular icons of Italy.
Yes.
You can see Pavarotti and the motorbike. So it's something that really shows Italy at its best.
Let's prepare for the interview now. Are we ready? Let's start.
Well, Ambassador, as you know, this is part of our special series that we are doing, and we usually begin with a short introduction of the country. So why don't we do that? What do you think are the three distinctive characteristics that best represent Italy?
Thank you for the question. It's quite a good question, not easy to answer. If I have to sum up three characters that represent Italy, I would say tradition. Italy has long history of culture and civilization. Innovation, because Italy is an innovative country in many fields, science, technology, economic side, and so on. And well, I would say lifestyle. With lifestyle, I don't refer only to what commonly you can perceive about Italy, I mean fashion and design and so on, but also a way to approach life, the way we approach life, the way that we relate with our job, our free time, or our entertainment is peculiar to Italy. So it's something that we try to achieve any moment, this balance between professional life, personal life, entertainment, trying to live life at its fullest.
Ah, I see. We've done more than 20 interviews for this special series, and lifestyle, this is the first time that any ambassador has mentioned lifestyle as a characteristic, so that's very interesting.
Do you know any country that can claim the same lifestyle as Italy? I'm not sure about that. So there is a reason why I mentioned.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's been more than a century since Korea and Italy formed diplomatic ties. How do you think our relationship has evolved over the past 138 years, to be exact?
Well, it has evolved sometime in unexpected ways. You know, Korea and Italy in this 138 years, to be precise, have had sometimes difficult, tragic, and history that has put us in many difficulties, both countries. The wars, the civil war, we had dictatorship, the Japanese occupation of Korea. So we cannot say it's been a relations that has developed constantly and slowly, but has gone instead up and down, so sometimes going very fast.
Korea and Italy's history of exchanges began at the end of the 16th century, after the Imjin War, when Japan invaded Korea, or Joseon as it was called at the time. These early contacts involved indirect exchanges of Italian priests who were staying in Japan and China. After Joseon opened its ports in 1867, it signed the Treaty of Peace, Amity, Commerce, and Navigation with the United States in 1882. This was Joseon's first treaty with a Western country, and it led to many Western countries wanting to sign commercial treaties with Joseon. In June 1884, Joseon and Italy signed the Treaty of Friendship and Commerce. When the Korean War broke out, Italy, which was not a member of the UN at the time, sent 128 doctors, nurses, and officers through the Italian Red Cross to work at Field Hospital No. 68 in Seoul's Yeongdeungpogu district. After the establishment of the government of the Republic of Korea, the two countries agreed to resume diplomatic ties in November 1956, and the legations established in both countries in 1957 were promoted to embassies in April 1959. Relations between the two countries grew closer in the 2000s. Since the South Korean president's first visit to Italy in 2000, there have been 9 visits by their respective heads of state and government as of 2021. Meanwhile, trade between Korea and Italy has steadily increased, exceeding $10 billion in trade volume for the first time in 2018. Also, despite the pandemic, trade volume recorded an all-time high in 2021.
Well, in the preliminary answer that you gave us, you touched upon quite a few topics, but one that you underlined was cultural cooperation.
Yes.
So let's start with the question of why. Why did you want to emphasize the cultural cooperation?
Well, I think that it's really, if you want to grow relations that are very strong, they must put their roots in the cultural field. Because, you know, economic aspects or other aspects, they can move or they can follow a different period if there is economic crisis, if there is energy crisis like now. You can have many variables that can affect other type of relations. If you have a stronger relation in the culture field, this means also strong relations people to people. That it's what really makes relations between two countries very thick.
And that's perhaps why you've held many events this year. There was the Ladola exhibition.
Like the one of Ladola. This is part of show many aspects of also design. You know, design is something between art and industry. Design is also a very strong artistic component. And with this exhibition of Ladola, we want to show that some pieces of design, like this installation lamps, they are also in themselves artworks. So we want to especially underline the art content in some design objects.
It's me, Talk. Shall we go to a very special place together? This is Dongdaemun Design Plaza, DDP, a cultural complex in Seoul. An exhibition of Marco Ladola, a contemporary artist representing Italy, is held here. After the interview with the ambassador, I went to the exhibition as a representative of Diplomat Talks. Wow, it's so pretty! The works are colorful and shiny. Ladola uses neon, LED tubes, and plexiglass a lot. That's why he's called the artist of light.
기본적으로 여러 가지 색깔이 조화로 되어 있는데 거기 안에 네온등까지 집어넣으니까 이제 그 여러 가지 색깔이 좀 더 진하게 해서 작품 볼 때 좀 색상이 강렬하다 이런 생각이 들었어요.
그 이탈리아다운 색감을 잘 썼다. 원색과 노란색, 파란색 그런 부분이 참 좋았고요. 그리고 실루엣을 활용했던 작품들 중에서 초록색 무용수 같은 작품이 밤에 보면 더 예뻤겠다 그런 생각 좀 들었네요.
This exhibition was organized by the Italian Embassy in South Korea to promote Italian contemporary art. Isn't this exhibition great? And there are still more Italian cultural events left in 2022. Let's go check out what those are. Is full of great events allowing you to immerse yourself in Italian culture. I hope that Korea and Italy will be able to continue cultural exchanges in the future.
I believe there was also a design exhibition held in Milan, right? And there were some Korean designs that were introduced to the Italian public.
Yes. In June this year, there was the Milan Design Week, which is probably the most important world event for design. Since we in our programs there is this cooperation between Italy and Korea on design. We have organized some initiatives during the year. One of these was held in Milan, in which some Italian designers, some Korean designers, they talked about especially the new direction of design in terms of sustainability, new materials.
I
You know,
see.
a design object, of course, is very much dependent on the material is done. To make it more sustainable, you have to change also the materials, make the materials sustainable. And I think this was a very interesting discussion, and we are continuing because we will hold another event here at the end of November about again design material, about the possibility of cooperating for sustainable design materials. Design is something that is not fancy. I mean, there could be fancy design, of course.
I was like, it's not fancy.
Well, the word design, it's a Latin word that originally meant choice. So when you do something of design, it means you're choosing something. So we can choose how to live for the future. So we want to continue to live in a society where we overproduce sometimes, and we have a problem of waste disposal, pollution, microplastic in the oceans, and so on. Or we want to choose to do something together to improve the quality of our life. So, of course, you can do this also with fancy things, but really something that affects our daily life.
And I think our conversation that we're having right now it's a testament to how the issue of climate change and sustainability is a huge task for the global community.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering, and we talked about this last year as well, but
Right.
what do you think is at the core of Italy's policy for making that necessary energy transition that comes along with the big task and homework of climate change?
Right. Talking about climate change and the energy transition in this period has become more difficult than before. Because with the current energy crisis and the situation in Ukraine, of course, all the targets that we had for energy transition, well, I'm afraid that we have now to re-evaluate because, for instance, Italy was planning to give up coal power station within 2025. Let's see if this is still a realistic objective because, now most of our gas came from Russia.
I see.
An unprecedented energy crisis has hit Europe. With supplies of gas from Russia cut off, the prices of gas and electricity in Europe have soared. In Germany, electricity prices have risen nearly tenfold year over year. while France also decided to charge for electricity at a rate 10 times higher than last year, starting in January 2023. Also, there's the risk that a surge in gas and electricity prices could affect raw material production, leading to a shortage of raw materials and a further increase in prices. As the winter season approaches with increased gas demand, concerns are growing that the energy crisis will intensify and there will be an economic downturn. To respond to this situation, some countries that were leading the green transition are considering restarting their coal-fired power plants to fill the energy shortage. Meanwhile, in early August 2022, Italy approved an additional 17 billion euros in aid to protect its businesses and citizens. The energy support measures introduced by the Italian government this year total more than 52 billion euros.
Now the plan is to replace almost totally the imports of gas from Russia with developing more renewable energy or other sources of energy or other sources for the gas and so on. So it's a very difficult moment for energy transition. Anyway, Italy is fully committed to carbon zero within 2050. What, in my opinion, is required now are an increase, but a very, very substantial increase in investment in the research for renewable energy.
In which areas are Korea and Italy working together? Are we collaborating in the research R&D field?
We are collaborating in research R&D. For instance, this year we held the 7th Joint Forum Science and Technology between Italy and Korea. One of the panels was renewable energy and hydrogen. So we are cooperating to develop possible application of hydrogen as a source of energy. I would like also to even in education, we should do some joint programs for students in Italy and Korea. There are many Italian students here in Korea, for instance, KAIST. Would be interesting to have a change of students as for climate change.
What other topics were discussed at this innovation forum?
And this year, as you said, we held the 7th edition. And we focus on 4 themes. One I mentioned was hydrogen and the new sources of renewable energy. The second was aerospace. The third was semiconductors. And another one was high technologies for the preservation and restoration of cultural heritage. Which is a very sophisticated field in which Italy and Korea already have a strong cooperation, since both countries have huge cultural heritage.
On October 15th, 2014, Korea's Cultural Heritage Administration and Italy's Ministry of Culture signed an MOU for cultural heritage in Rome to commemorate the 130th anniversary of diplomatic relations. As part of efforts to share technologies related to cultural heritage preservation and restoration, the South Korean Embassy in Italy and Korea's National Research Institute of Cultural Heritage requested in 2015 that Italy's Central Institute for the Restoration and Conservation of Archive and Book Heritage carry out a cultural property resilience certification test for Korean traditional paper, or hanji. Hanji received an official certificate saying it is suitable for archival preservation and restoration, and using Hanji, the institution succeeded in preserving and restoring 5 types of Italian documentary heritage. Also, in 2019, the Korea National University of Cultural Heritage and Korea's Electronics and Telecommunications Research Institute held the first Korea-Italy Symposium on disaster prevention for cultural heritage preservation using advanced ICT technology. Here they exchanged the big data Italy has amassed on disasters and cultural asset preservation and Korea's ICT-based disaster management technology. The symposium was an opportunity for the two sides to share related know-how on cultural preservation. In the same year, KNUCH and ISCR jointly ran an expert exchange program, further strengthening cooperation in the fields of preserving and restoring cultural heritage, showing their determination to preserve cultural assets and nurture experts in the field.
Well, this next question is becoming one of the common questions that I'm asking all ambassadors now, and I think it's partly because Korea has been given more weight and responsibility in the international stage, and you seem to agree as well. So what kind of role do you expect from Korea when it comes to dealing with global affairs and challenges?
We see Korea as a country that has not only become an important country from the economic point of view, or science and technology, but also politically. The role of Korea has expanded very much, not only in this regional area like East Asia, but for instance, Korea has a huge influence also in Southeast Asia, and is expanding its reach towards also other continents, Europe, Africa, Latin America, and so on. This is very important because we consider Korea a like-minded country. We share the same values, democracy, rule of law, human rights. We consider Korea as now as having a huge responsibilities in representing these values, so that we are very eager to work together. Actually, I must say we are already working together in this respect in many international fora, because exactly we are on the same position in this respect. We think that Korea is doing and can do in the future even more. It can exert even more influence in this regard.
I will be sure to deliver that message.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for your time today. I believe Italy is one of the few countries that have a longer than a century relationship with Korea. And after listening to your stories today, I've become even more confident that we will be able to see the bicentennial anniversary, right?
Let's hope so.
So thank you very much for inviting us today and having this conversation.
Thank you very much.
감사합니다.
Shall we go and deliver the message?
Mission complete. Diplomat Talks has delivered the message of the Italian ambassador.
Very nice.
So it's, I think it's a box for business cards, and your name in Korean is engraved on the top. So maybe that will go straight to your desk.
Absolutely.
And I will see you next week.